Hi, we're back with another episode. I don't know, this is maybe third, fourth, fifth. You find out. We always find out. And we have a wonderful guest today. I can't wait for you to meet her. But instead of introducing her, I will let her do that herself. So, Gift, who are you? What do you do? And why should the good people of Content Connect care?
Hello, thank you, Content Connect team, for having me. My name is Gift Aku, and I'm currently a marketing associate for a company called Smile ID. We do ID verification for fintech banks, just like do some research about it. But I've been in marketing for 5, 6 years now, and it has been an amazing experience. Why you should care about this like episode or hear me is I have had some successes and some failures, and I'm going to be sharing all of them in this episode. Some of them in this episode, okay? There's a lot. We can't get through all of them
Yeah, we
in
can't
one
share all
body.
the
Yeah, we
L's.
can't share all the L's and the wins, but you're going to be able to, gain some experience for your own journey as well. And yeah, it's just fun to just hear people experiencing the things that you do because it helps you in your own journey as well. So I hope that this episode does that for you, and I think it will. So thank you.
So we can just dive in. Let me just get you settled.
Okay.
So when Nonso and I were doing a bit of, let's say, recon, I like to call it stalking, but it's not stalking.
Okay.
But research, research. Nonso mentioned that she was there was a word she was like, oh, that she likes your fashion sense and the likes. But I want you to talk us through. Would you say you have a unique style? I mean, I have my own thoughts. I think you have a pretty unique style, and I like it. What would you say that style falls under, and what do you think inspires your fashion choices overall? I know this is a marketing interview, but we're getting there. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very, very good start. Okay, so I think this whole fashion thing sort of started in secondary school. I schooled in Ghana.
Okay.
So I was in secondary school, and then I remember I used to just walk randomly in school, and somebody would just stop me and just be like, oh. And I was in school uniform, so people would just be like, oh, do you want to be a model? I just felt like because I was tall and thin. So, but when people talk about modeling, and I realized that, oh, what shows was I interested in? It was America's Next Top Model. And I always just used to think about
Okay.
oh, this is cool. And then I entered university. I realized that, I was a broke university student, but I could pick thrift pieces, and then I'll look so cool. People just be like, oh, where did you get this? And I just be like, that was a way for people to come to me and have conversations. And that was how the whole fashion thing started.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always just I was going to get into fashion one day. Maybe I would one day, but
Maybe.
after after school, I was I'm going to work in a fashion brand. I liked marketing, social media, and I'll talk about that. But I was going to work with comms in fashion brand, and some Nigerian fashion brands showed me Pepe. But that's a conversation for another day. But for my personal style, I think I I listen to a lot of conversation that complements my body type.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I feel good when I dress really well. I think that even in marketing, if I wake up and then I start my day and I look really, really nice, sometimes I wear jewelry when I'm just going to be sitting at home and remote work.
Fair.
It just feels really good. I just feel really empowered. So my personal style is more chic. I'm always wearing blazers. So if you see me in conferences, I'm always wearing a lot of blazers, and it's always super comfortable. I think that if you are comfortable, it doesn't. So people when they encounter fashion, they're always just can you be decent, indecent?
Yeah.
For me, it's just just look really how if you feel stylish, if you feel sexy, just put on something that makes you just feel great and you'll be good. So yeah, that's how I describe my fashion sense.
Okay.
And how I
Love it. Love it.
All of that.
Right. I would like to really
thank you.
dig into your uni background, right? So
Yeah.
I was going through and I was like, oh, we study what now? And I I went through so I've seen a lot of marketers coming from, okay, I came in from engineering, and I always
Okay.
get the question bro, what are you doing here? Go and design some stuff. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And I've met people that have come in from HR, from economics, from
Yeah.
different backgrounds. Can you walk us through your own uni background and how on earth did you find yourself in this space?
Okay. So uni, I studied agricultural science.
Okay.
And the way the Ghanaian system works, when you're entering university, you can pick a bunch of courses. So I think my first choice was medicine, just because I'm an African person who went to science class,
Yeah.
and everybody just I did want to be a doctor at some point, but it wasn't a do and die thing for me. So I
Okay.
picked a bunch of things. I picked medicine, I picked psychology, and I picked agricultural science, just because it just feels like Africa.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
It's
enough.
just Africa where food, it just feels like something that was important.
Yeah.
So and there was like sort of like a grade, so you couldn't like pick medicine and pick engineering, right? Engineering was like a, do you
Okay.
get,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
so you
get
kind of
that.
like pick like so agricultural science was like one of my choices, and then I was just like, yeah, I'm good to go. And but then when I was like studying the course, and I was just like, God, this is such a mismatch. There was a particular time when you when I was in my third year, no,
Yeah.
actually second year going to third year. I think Nigeria has that system as well, like CWES, but
Okay.
for
Internship.
me, yes, like
Yeah.
internship, but ours was more like a retreat, like a 6 week retreat. So
Oh,
we'll go
okay.
to like the school farms, like the university
Oh, it's
farms.
more like a work study program, something
Yes, a
like
work
that.
study program for like 6 weeks. So we'll go to like a crop farm where because it was crop science, animal science, and then
Okay.
soil science.
Okay.
So we'll just go to like farms that had like studies around those things.
Okay.
And I remember like, okay, so people were like, because in level 300 we're supposed to like, peak. Sorry, in Ghana we say level 300, not 300 level.
Okay. No,
But yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
So when I was going to the next year, so that program was supposed to help you to like select the next course. So the next like course you're supposed to pick in level 300, because you had to like special, like you had to go to like a
Specialized. Okay.
specialize in your third year. So when I went to the first farm, the animal farm, I was just like, nope.
I'm not doing this.
When I went to the crop farm, I was just like, okay. When I also went to the soil farm, I was just like, I don't like any of this, but I just felt like, okay, crop science like made sense, and I was just going to go into it. And but then when I started like finishing, I just realized that I didn't like have like a lot of like love for it. But
Hmm.
that sort of helped me to, because I find out that if you're trying to like find what you want to do in life, you just have to try things. I thought agricultural science was going to be a thing, but I tried it and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And so it started leading me to like other things that I was curious about. I was
Hmm.
curious about like, I was curious about social media actually. I started
Okay.
seeing
Okay.
that people were like social media managers, like influencers. I was like,
I
this
feel like
is
a lot of people
quite
entered marketing through
through
social media. Yeah.
social
Everyone always
media.
says
Because it
social
was
media
just
first.
like, oh, people can earn through that. Because when you're finishing school, there's this whole big thing like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like for a doctor, you sort of like know that you go through
Yeah.
like a
You do
whole
your one
clinical
year, then
system.
another. Yeah. Yeah.
Like for agricultural science, how many like agricultural science like institutes
Institutions
are
are there.
hiring
Yeah.
people? Now you have to like go to like like either a bank. Most of my colleagues like went to like banks, or like the people who really wanted agricultural science, they became like TAs and stuff,
Okay. Then they moved up
and
from
they
there.
moved up, did their masters, and then going up there. But I just realized that okay, that wasn't my path. So what was coming to me was like social media, and then I saw that this was fun, and I also realized that I could do social media in fashion. So after school, I just came to Nigeria, and I started looking for like fashion businesses, fashion brands that I could do
Oh. Okay.
social media like marketing for. And then I started realizing, oh, marketing is interesting, and content marketing and product marketing. Ooh. So
Okay.
so
That's
that's how
fine.
it's all sort of evolved.
Why? Okay, so like, why didn't you opt to like stay in like Ghana, like to do like marketing? Why did you move to Nigeria?
Okay, so it was also because of the whole like fashion thing for
Okay,
me for Ghana.
small, yeah.
Yeah, my parents like stayed in Nigeria,
Okay,
right? My dad is Ghanaian, but he was in Nigeria, and then I just felt like I just really wanted home, because he moved me to Ghana when I was in JSS2, so I was like um 12 or
okay,
11, and then I was coming back home when I was like 20. So it was a lot of time like away from home. It wasn't like
mm,
full. I used to come for vacations like
okay,
once
okay,
in a while,
okay.
but I was
It's
just
not the
like,
same as
it
like
wasn't the
being there, yeah.
same as being there. So I wanted to be home. But also when I was in Ghana, I used to see like Lagos Fashion Week. I used to see like
Yeah.
Nigerians like, I don't want this to be like a whole Ghana Nigeria fight. Before people are
Yeah.
not saying that.
Let's not
I
start.
did not say, disclaimer, I did not say that Nigerians dress or have a better fashion sense than Ghanaians. It just, the style that Nigerians were like portraying just really spoke more to me. I just felt like most of the fashion brands, they were
Yeah.
like
More
putting
present
themselves,
here.
yeah, they were more present there, and there was a lot of focus on fashion,
Yeah.
and I wanted to get in. So I was just like, it just really fit, and I just really wanted to be home.
Okay, love it. Right, so
Yeah.
let's go through like working experience. So you left school, came down to Nigeria. How did you get started?
So I got started with my first job was like a textile, it like we used to call it like a tech-enabled like textile fashion. So it was this
Yeah.
yeah. So it was So it was this brand that like you could order like fabric through like a website.
Okay.
So it was like it was pretty simple, but a lot of people were not doing it. Like people would go to like Tejo show and
To get their
try to
textiles,
pick
yeah.
exactly.
So people want to like see
Feel
and
it.
feel it too.
So the
yeah.
way that we had to do was like proper like product description. We would try to like teach people what like crepe feels like,
Okay.
and people like would order like fabric from us. So I was doing like the whole social media, the whole
That's
product
similar to how
description.
like perfume brands like market scents and all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So and nobody was really doing that. So it was super fun. I remember. I think I was starting to get into Twitter. I saw the rule on Twitter. I was just like, this is fun. Like this is fashion and marketing. Yes. So
that's me.
I want to be in it, and I just applied and then I was called for the interview. And I remember that I didn't even know anything about like social media
Yeah.
or like I was just like really lost. But my boss at the time said that she liked my enthusiasm and she felt like I was going to be teachable, so she hired me. So that was like my first job.
So enthusiasm, nice.
My enthusiasm. People really just there's a lot of parts with like hiring and then psychology, just like playing to. I don't know if we'll talk about this, but one of like the tricks to like getting hired from like an interview is just like getting the interviewer to like you and just like starting
energy
with
reciprocation.
the energy reciprocation. Don't even start with my name is. Just start with my goodness, you look so nice today, and then you just
like,
oh my goodness. Always works, but I hope like none of my. But yeah, it just always works. So I was just like that, just telling them that I love what she's doing. I think that nobody's really doing that. I really love fashion. I'm open to learning and all of that. So
Yeah.
she saw that potential. It was a very entry level role. So she so that was like my first foray. Do you want me to like describe like from
let's just go from like let's
from
just
there
go
to
natural.
Smile? Okay.
Natural progression.
Okay. So from that job I started with social media. There was a lot of information. I started learning about like target audience, designing on Canva, writing. There's a whole. I was just like, wow, this thing is hard.
It's not as easy as it looks from outside.
It's not as easy as it looks. Marketers, why? I just thought it was just like, I'll just envision a billboard ad
and you just go out like that. Okay.
No. You have to think about content ideas. You have to match content ideas to like what your customers are acting about.
To the brand itself.
To the brand itself, and then I had to like pick up courses. My boss at that time, she was just like, "You're starting your career. You should like get into LinkedIn." And she was very very like proactive. She's one of like the best bosses that I had, and she was just like just get into that. And these are courses for you to take, like how to write and all of those things.
Nice.
So I stayed in that job for maybe like 7 months because it was also really stressful. I had to go from like my place to Yaba every single day. So there wasn't really a remote work culture, and it was just really so hard. And my energy was just like collapsing every time. And also the company were also struggling to also like keep up with, because we were reaching out to people. There was a time that we're trying to like collaborate with fashion brands, and we'll go to like fashion houses and they'll just be like, I actually like going to the market to actually test fabric. It's part of like my workflow and my job. So it was getting to
it's hard to change customer behavior.
Exactly. So none of us were really equipped to like get to that point. So like the things that are really like dwindle with the job, and I was just like, okay, this wasn't really working and this wasn't really flowing the way that I wanted it to do. So I started like looking for like other places.
So you jumped ship.
I jumped ship. I was just like, okay, I think I've learned, but it was getting to a place where it felt like one day it was just going to be like, we're not more working and this is everywhere.
Yeah.
So I needed to like really lock in for myself, plan my exit. So the next point was just like really boring. I already knew some social media marketing work. I was just seeing more. And I worked at a travel agency. So I
was that transition from like textile to travel?
It wasn't really bad. And also the travel agency was interesting because it was a marketing role, but it was very much salesy.
Okay.
So it was that point that I didn't really understand the difference between like marketing and sales as much. And the company also didn't know. So I was doing lots of like sales. But
even today, there are some companies that don't know. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but the interesting part about it was that I actually because something about me that is a principle that still works for me is that if I'm at a place, I'm just going to make the best use out of it.
Yeah.
So as I was there, we're trying to do sales. They were giving us sales targets.
Yeah.
Then I realized that okay, right, fuck it, let's sell. And then I realized that I was one of like the youngest in the company at the time, and I was winning like highest salesperson.
Oh, nice. So you
And
got all those bonuses.
got all those like bonuses. They didn't really do like a really nice bonus structure. They used to give me this plaque. I don't
What
remember
are you planning?
Why is it plaque to do? Now that I know that actual salespeople they get like good
Bonuses,
commission.
yeah.
I just realized that the company was pretty like shitty, but I just didn't want to. I also wanted to do that thing, which is a misconception that I needed to be at this company for a year so that it doesn't like affect like my CV.
Yeah, people say that a lot.
People say that a lot. People were saying that I was like, I need to leave this company because I don't think it was helping me to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But people were just like, just do that 1 year. Now that I think about it, it was I could have just left at like the 6 month mark. Like if you see that the company is not helping you to grow, even if you don't know where that growth part looks like, you can just like feel it that now I don't feel like
it feels
I'm
in your
learning.
bones
You can
like
feel it
I'm not growing anymore.
I'm not growing anymore. Just leave, like pivot to like the next place, because I stayed up until that whole like COVID firing period.
Yeah,
right.
That's massive layoffs happened that year.
Massive layoffs were happening. I wasn't laid off.
Yeah.
I left because almost everybody was laid off. I was the only one in my team, and
You were the team.
I was a team, and I didn't even like the place. So I was just like, there was one day I was just like getting ready to go to work, and I was just like, no, I don't want to be here anymore. So I just went and I just told them that I don't think I'll be coming here anymore. And it was also quite toxic, but I don't want to like get into like the whole like toxicity around that. But it was just that whole like Nigerianness, like very very silly things that were just happening that I was just like, nah, this is not my life. I don't know, but I don't think that this is how I want to live. So I kind of like left there, and then 2020 sort of like ushered me into like what I really wanted to like working with fashion brands. So I started doing like freelance working for fashion brands, and I remember that that time I was really like excited and happy because I already have some skills that I could just put together like in my portfolio and just be like, oh, I've done this. I can do this for your business because I've been learning some of it. So
you had stuff to actually showcase.
So I worked for some like big fashion brands for a while. So I was doing freelancing where that social media thing where just be like, oh, I can work with 3 businesses at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. So that thing works for now. I feel like that thing works like if you have like a team or somebody to help you. We're trying to like manage like 3 accounts at the same time. It was just like I was just getting burnt out a lot of times because they would require you to also do content creation. Now fashion brands too also don't understand the job of a social media brand. They think it's content creator. So they expect you to come and shoot videos, edit. I was just getting burnt out. I was just working with fashion brands, and I'll leave after 3 months in my freelance career. So I think there was a particular time that I sat with myself and I was like,
I had a one-on-one
with myself. What do you want to do? Like, this isn't really working out. You are not like you came to Nigeria because you wanted to like stay with family, but also like build like a good career. Right now you've gone up the kinks. Like, what do you really want to do? And I saw that okay, marketing was the part, but I wanted to work in a place that understood the kind of marketing that I wanted to do, or at least understood what they were doing.
Oh yeah, I think that second one is really important.
Yeah, understood what they were doing. So I just started applying to lots of different places whilst I was like working with fashion brands, like small business. I started applying to a bunch of different places.
Okay.
I put my name in all these like recruiting companies. So what they do is they'll have your CV in store.
Like have it on record,
exactly.
so if there's something that comes up.
Exactly. So one of them called me and was like, they think I'll be perfect for the job. And when I went to the job, I went to the company, I was just like, ooh, this is so nice. It was a small company, but it was like, it just felt like they knew what they were doing. I was just like, okay, this is perfect.
That sense of organization.
Yeah, that sense of organization. So it was like an NGO, and I was just like, okay, I think this is the place, and I got the job.
Social media?
So it was, who was my role at? I think it was marketing and communications associate or so.
Okay, marketing and comms, but
marketing and comms because it was NGO work. So it wasn't product, but it was NGO. And these people knew what they were doing, and there was so many great opportunities. I got the opportunity to travel. So it was my first time traveling outside, because we used to organize like a lot of events.
Oh, where did you travel to?
So we used to have this annual thing where we traveled to Rwanda. I think that right now they do like more East Africa. So I think the last one we did in Kenya. But the first one, the second one was in Rwanda. So it was so cool because I got experience with like managing a team in Rwanda, and I was also like in Nigeria, and then we also went there like,
And
you know,
like
traveling and
coordinating and
working,
all of
like
that. That's
coordinating
lovely.
the event stuff and the whole con stuff. But then I started like, and then okay, very very interesting career move. So I was enjoying that, but I
Yeah.
started going on LinkedIn. I started following a lot of other marketing folks, and I realized that these marketing people, content marketers, as I started seeing content marketing, I started seeing like social media marketing went tech, but
Mhm.
it seemed like a whole lot more organized.
Okay.
It seemed like if you ask the question that can this my road, can this skill, like if I go anywhere around the world, will I be able to apply this skill?
Yeah,
And if,
transferable.
yes, so that's where I met marketers like PCTme, like Aisha. I was just like Aisha Olabi. And when I saw their videos, I was just like, these people are working in the UK. I didn't even think that was a possibility.
Yeah. I think when it first came was when I saw like pieces like global talent visa guy, like "Wait, someone can actually do this." Like, okay, interesting.
Interesting. So I was just like, I didn't feel like, although like the NGO was really like supportive, and I felt like I was getting to a global point, I felt like when people made posts and they talked about like content marketing, I felt like I wasn't writing as much as I would want to write.
Okay.
I didn't understand like, you know, how to like, you know, market a product. So what I was just thinking of doing, I was just hoping that any of these marketers will have like an opportunity for me to be able to sort of like shadow their work,
Yeah.
and
Actually
then I'll be able
learn.
to like learn what this is about, just see what it's about really. And then I think just really thinking about it, just the universe just really aligned, and then the
That was
community,
marketers.
yes,
Yeah, I got that sense.
the community that Aisha Olabi was managing was now hiring for a I've forgotten
Was it
all my
community
roles
manager?
for a community manager.
Yeah.
Thank you very
No,
much.
I remember it too.
For a community manager, I was just like, this is perfect. So I applied for the role and I got the job.
Okay.
And then when I got it, I was just like, okay, fine. So Aisha was there now showing me things that it felt like my world was like opening up, where I interviewed like other marketers.
Mhm.
And I remember that I interviewed a marketer like Olabinja.
Yeah.
For,
Adeniran.
Adeniran for one of our series. And then he was a product marketer. He was talking about product
I
marketing.
love his case studies. I love his case studies.
Actually, the moment that I spoke to Olabinja, I was like, I'm going to do product marketing. It was him.
It makes it so interesting.
I told him on LinkedIn that you are the one that got me into product marketing, because it's so interesting the way he talks about, like, he talks about marketing in a way where it's a fusion between science
Mhm.
and arts.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting because it's just like a combination of my background. I feel like I'm a very very like creative person,
Yeah.
but I also really like the whole like, you know, structural
Organizational
organizational
from like the
structure.
science side, yeah.
So I was just like, this is perfect. And marketers have sort of like led me to that. He also led me to like just the thinking around like people who were like making like their careers work for them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I wanted to get into tech. Now I know that a lot of the reasons why people get into tech was because of like the whole like money buzz.
Yeah.
And honestly,
for like
honestly, the
80%
money,
of people.
like when I was hearing that people were earning like 500k, million, 2 million, I was just like, wow. But I think that's what's really appealed to me. But I wasn't really like money moves me, but at the same time, it's not.
It has to move you.
It has to move me, but it's not like, it's not a thing that really like pushes
not like
me.
the drive
It's not
per
the
se, yeah.
biggest drive. But what really moved me into tech was that I liked the structural, because it felt like tech was like one language around the world. So
Yeah.
in Nigeria, in the UK, in the US,
everywhere,
if you had a structure, everybody had a similar structure. Everyone was learning that structure,
yeah.
which means that like if you're an SEO marketer
Yeah.
in a tech company in Nigeria, you could easily move to an SEO marketer like
In another tech
company
Yeah, I think
in the
for
US.
like the tech ecosystem, there's like established frameworks. Like, okay, hey, you need someone for SEO, you need someone for product, you need someone for comms, that type of thing. Yeah.
So it just felt like this structure made sense, and I wanted to get into tech. So that's what really like pushed me. And I feel like my career always has this thing where the moment that I start thinking about doing something,
it just aligns. Like
it
the
just
marketers
aligns.
of it was like, oh, perfect timing.
It just aligned. So when I actually spoke to Olabinja and then I got the whole like product marketing, and I was like, okay, I want to start with product marketing. I just like put it out in the universe. Like, how was I going to start? So it was going to be like a course or something.
That's when you took that Treford course.
Yes, but
Okay.
so I got a Treford course like through a scholarship. So a scholarship that also made me get my job at Smile ID.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I think you said about to hear about it. Okay.
Exactly. So when I was like, oh, I want to do product marketing, I was just like, okay, I'm just putting out there. I'm going to find the right course to do.
Sorry. When you say put it out there, did you like post about it?
No, I didn't post about it. I
Okay.
just like said it, put in the universe.
Okay, you put it out
But
there.
yeah,
Okay.
but I also told my friends that
Okay, great.
product marketing seems interesting. I don't know if I tweeted about it.
Okay.
Because sometimes like Twitter people put bad energy into things. So I'm very, very
Yeah.
careful with trying to put my goals out there
Out
on
there,
Twitter
yeah.
specifically. But I don't mind telling my friends or my
For
family.
sure.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, I'm looking towards like product marketing stuff. And then I saw this scholarship opportunity called like tech marketers, TEMSI.
Oh, Temzi.
TEMSI, yeah.
Oh, that's easiest thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Easy and Ore Badmas. So TEMSI, so that was the first time they were launching, and they talked about the fact that it was going to be like a 3-tiered scholarship thing.
Okay.
So they'll help you with the course, they'll link you up to the mentor, and then they'll help you with an internship placement.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And I was just like, nobody in the world is doing this because
Yeah.
like you can teach people like how like a particular course is going, but are you going to get them a job? Like you just have people with resumes
the
like
shadowing thing plus the internship placement is actually fantastic.
because that's exactly what I needed. I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was applying for tech when I was like, oh, I was going to get tech roles. I was applying for tech roles, but I realized that it's tech. The tech industry was now moving to a point where they would rather hire somebody who already has some tech experience,
Yeah.
not wanting to
That's been around like for long enough. That's
for
not just
long
entry.
level. So I was struggling to like get into like the tech roles that I wanted. So I was just like, okay, this is perfect for me. This is more than perfect. So I remember when I applied for the scholarship, I was even sick on the day, but I don't know, some energy just came together and I was just like, okay, let me just apply. And then when I applied, had an interview, I got the
nice.
scholarship. It's always so funny when you talk about these things because it always just feels like the journey happens really smoothly.
Yeah, it doesn't account for all the months in between, the tears, everything.
Tears. My marketing journey has just been so much tears. But when I think about it, like I got this scholarship and it feels like I'm lucky and I do feel really lucky. But
Speaking of luck, right? There's this thing about expanding your luck surface area, the things you do to make yourself more lucky. That's a word. But yeah, what were the things you did like regarding like the Temsey opportunity? Like, how did you find it? I know you already mentioned that you told your friends about it, and at least you put it out there so that I mean, someone once came in on the show and said that, oh, hey, that one of his first major roles was someone just shared a link in a group chat, and he would never have ever seen it if his friends didn't put it in the group chat, and that's how he landed his role. But yeah, how did that work out for you with the scholarship opportunity?
Okay, this is really good because I think that this is something that really helps. That is super pivotal for like all our marketing, like the marketing career, like in general, is community.
Okay, great.
So like you have your friends who are also like in the marketing industry or are not in the marketing industry, but then you also have like communities. So as part of like this marketers hub community as like the community manager. So I was definitely very involved with like the partnerships that were coming in.
So you
and
were
what
aware.
people I was aware, but people then now ask me like, do I have to be like a community manager to be able to get like access to the things? And the thing is that no. But the people who usually get access are like people who are active community members.
Yeah.
And
you always get like first-hand information. Oh, hey, this thing's available. Do you guys want?
Exactly. It's like your friend, like was part of like a group,
Yeah,
right? It might not be like a structured community,
just like,
but
yeah, places where those conversations
banter,
are had. Yeah.
and then you just like see that opportunity. So just if you like you said, the question was like in a surface area. So if you want to increase your surface area, then you have to like increase like the places where you have like the potential to find those opportunities.
Yeah.
And a great place is like community. A great place is like a social platform like LinkedIn, like Twitter, and following the people who like post about opportunities. Right. The thing about like social media and algorithms, like marketers, like if you're able to like click on one like job opportunity,
to keep showing you more,
keep
and
bringing you
more
more and more.
That's why people say things like, "How did this get on my feed?" It got on your feed because they think you like this type
they
of.
They think you like, yeah, exactly. When people say that, oh, why are people you like that?
That's why it's showing you.
That's why it's showing it to you. So so that's how I basically increased. So for Temsey, it was I think they were starting a partnership with like Marketers Hub,
Okay.
and to just like amplify the distribution of that particular scholarship. And then when I saw it, I was just like, I'm going to put this out for the community members to see as well.
But I'm also,
But I'm
going
also
to
like, I'm
apply
also
for
a
this.
good candidate for this. So that's how it came to me. But that wouldn't have come if I wasn't part of like, this Marketers Hub community. I
Yeah.
wasn't like, active or had like, active like view to the community as well. And, something that's I've heard a lot of people talk about with getting into tech or getting into like remote roles, something that is very, very universal is not by the right CV, it's not by the right LinkedIn profile, it's who you know and just like your networking stream. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, you have to know all the powerful people in marketing to be able to get your jobs. I mean, if you do, you will get jobs very easily. And especially if a lot of people know that you can do great work.
Yeah.
But another way that for you to do that is just to be able to join things and meta things, and you'll be able to see that you can be able to get those opportunities come to you, and just basically have somebody that's, oh, I'm part of this community, I came for this event, I saw you, I think I'll be really, really great at this, and I really want to like, contribute to this particular work. I remember some of the like the interviews that I've gotten through. I mean, I was lucky because like the Thameslink people were trying to help me to get an internship. So they were that bridge and that placement. But this is also like a connection that I was able to build for myself, and then I was able to like, get that opportunity. So that's what I would say. Like if you want to like increase like your luck opportunity, obviously you need to be able to grow your skills, but you need to like go out and talk to people. And I know
be
it's
an
hard.
active
You need
participant
to
in
be
your
an
own
active
life.
participant. Like you have to be like, I'm the CEO of my life.
Do
and
stuff.
do stuff. And I'm also an introvert, so that excuse about like introverts being an introvert is not a good excuse anymore. Like the world has become a whole lot more competitive. So go to events. You don't have to go to all the events that are happening, but go to one or two. And you don't have to even like speak at the event. Like sometimes you just be like, oh my goodness, I saw you at this social event, and send them like a LinkedIn invite, because I sometimes find it uncomfortable to go to people
like
at events and in person, and sometimes. But just be like, oh, hey, I saw you and I thought that you were really cool. I'll just be like, oh, I'll just like reply to like their LinkedIn profile just to have them
like actually
in
like engage in a way.
Engage with them, just to have them in that like familiar sense with you, because you might never know what is going to pop up. So that's how to like get luckier. That's how I got lucky.
Love it. So you got the internship, and you started interning at Smile ID. How did that go?
Oh my goodness! So it was so interesting because when I started working at Smile ID, I think maybe one time in like my LinkedIn, I'm going to talk about like that experience. So getting into the job, and that was like my first foray into like a tech company. But I knew this was like a serious tech company, because when I got in and I saw my colleagues and I saw like the level of experience that they each had,
there's always that shock, like, oh wow, okay.
I need
to buckle up.
I need to, like, I was so intimidated. I was just like, in my mind, I was like, I don't think I'm going to pass 3 months in this company. So I'm not even going to make a post on LinkedIn about it.
Let me cement my foot.
Let me put my foot in, because what? And not only was it like my first tech foray, it was also my first time into that particular industry. I didn't even know that identity verification companies existed. A lot of people don't know, but basically what we do is that if you're trying to like sign up to like a banking app, and you see like the whole KYC procedure where they're trying to tell you to like take a picture of your documentation, liveness check. Yeah, a company actually runs that in the background, and that's what my company does. So yes, so that was like my first foray into that. There was a lot of like lingos for me to learn. There was a lot of like cultural adaptation, because I have colleagues from like all over the world, from Kenya to South Africa to the US, the UK, and I didn't have like that whole cultural context. So I needed to like learn how to like effectively work with them. My direct manager at the time was staying in Canada, and I was trying to make sure that we had like the same level of understanding around like projects. She was really kind as to that. So that was how like that's how like the whole internship thing started. And so it was supposed to be like a 6-month internship. That was like my contract.
Okay.
And then after like the 6 months, I was just like, I still like this, but I'm still going, guys. As you can see, like there's a lot of like contribution that I'm making into the team. So but then what happened was that my managers changed.
Okay.
And when my managers changed, like my manager already had like a good view as to what my work process was. But now I had like a new manager, which was like, the director at the time. So I needed to sort of like prove my work. So I was just like, okay, if there's an opportunity to like extend like the internship, this is like a list of like a document of like the things that I've done, but I also want to be able to work with you, so and to be able to build up our rapport. So
Oh,
she
so
was
you're
like, okay.
proactive.
So I was proactive, and then she was just like, okay, let's extend your internship to like 3 months more
Okay.
and see. So I was just
That's
like
nice.
I was just like in a place where like, I was like, okay, I don't know what's going to be. And I was still like actively applying, but somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew that I still had like more things to do at my job.
Okay.
So after like, the whole 3 months, it was now like, okay, give to be able to build that power and the rapport, sorry. Let's like, get you to like, a full-time role. So that's when I got into like, the marketing associates level. So first of all, my role started with just like supporting everybody. So supporting the content marketing person, supporting the product marketing person,
Okay, so you're
supporting the
everywhere.
director. I was very everywhere, which I like because it helps me to like know a lot of
Yeah, so
things.
you have
And
context on like the entirety of
I
the
have
organization.
context in the entirety of the organization. I wasn't just fixated on, but my manager wanted to get me a place where I was now getting to be responsible for outcomes.
Okay.
So that was where I was now building. So I think that I'm in a place where I'm now responsible for a lot of like great outcomes, which is like at the intersection between like product marketing at my place and account-based marketing. So that has been super super interesting. Like getting I didn't think that like I'm almost 2 years at like Smile ID now, and getting to a place where like my team comes to me for certain information about like events that we are sponsoring, because I'm the one who is like managing that whole like account, that whole
Yeah.
process, that whole like lead generation, like processing. Also, Smile ID was also my first foray into B2B marketing,
Oh yeah.
which is intense because start with B2C, guys. Don't start with B2B. So I was just like, what the hell? So I've been selling to like people like consumers before,
Like
but like
direct to consumer.
direct consumers. So it's a whole different ball game with like B2B marketing.
You're selling to
So
like a decision maker that will now bring the entire business in. Yeah.
exactly. So there's a lot of terminologies like decision makers, economic buyers, and you have to sort of like consolidate this information to the salespeople, because your work as a marketer in like at least like most like B2B companies is to be able to provide like qualified MQLs, which is like marketing.
Enable sales.
Exactly, enable sales. So it was a whole different ballgame, but I'm getting to a place where it has become super super comfortable. So fingers crossed for my promotion very soon.
Love it. Do you get scared of being comfortable in a role? I've had someone tell me that no, that if I'm comfortable that I'll be lazy, and I like challenges, I like things changing and all of that. So that will explain why that person typically has worked in a lot of startups. So you know how it goes. Everything is changing every other week. But
Yeah.
what's like your take on that?
About like being
Being too
comfortable.
comfortable in a role, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like when you are too comfortable, actually, so right now, like my full-time job, like I stopped working as Marketers Hub, and I think one of the reasons why I thought that it was time for me to leave Marketers Hub was because I was getting too comfortable in the role. I feel like there was definitely a lot more to learn, and I was still like growing, but I felt like at that point that I had gotten what I wanted to get when I
Came in
as a community manager, and there wasn't really much that I felt like the best person that could have been in that role was somebody who wanted the things that I wanted, or maybe like, I mean, maybe they were not as early as I was when I started, but like they were in a place where they knew like they knew like a bit more. They could take like the company to like its next level.
Next phase.
So I was feeling really comfortable. Everything was feeling pretty automated. I mean, there was new challenges because I became like a manager for the first time there, where I was managing like a team of my volunteers. But I realized that I was getting like really really comfortable. It wasn't challenging me in the way that I wanted it to. So even though like this challenging thing that startups have been doing is wild, it can get really really wild and intense. I think that it definitely is like a catalyst for growth, because it helps you to be like a fast thinker, and a fast thinker is able to pivot fast, and that's what like is needed at for a startup stage to be able to like move, and also for you
as a person.
as a person. I think I recently tweeted something around like if you see work as something that is supposed to help you to, oh god, how do I say this? And I've forgotten like the
The
direct
actual
quote.
wording. Yeah,
The
but I think I
actual wording.
remember. I
You
think,
remember
yeah, I
that
saw
quote?
it.
Like if you see like work is something that's supposed to help you to build your consistency, your grit.
Essentially improving yourself. The
Im-
job improves you as much as you put into the
Exactly. You're
work.
being paid to like improve yourself.
So, yeah.
You're being paid to like show up every single day.
Yeah.
So if you kind of like just work through that whole challenging structure, you'll be able to like grow as an individual and
Yeah.
whatever helps people. So when you see somebody is a senior person in a role, it doesn't mean that like they have like something very, very different from you. It just means that they've gone through a number of
They're
challenges
putting
and
their hours.
they've put
Yeah.
in the hours and they've gone through it enough times to be able to sit comfortably in that
room.
discomfort.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, to
yeah.
sit comfortably in that discomfort. That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
So right, so now Smile ID, and you're doing great work. I actually personally like the way you document like stuff, even like with like LinkedIn and the likes. And I was wondering like though I know like for the viewers at home or wherever they are, how is like your typical day to day like?
So how I start my day is before I used to start with like emails, trying to follow up with emails. But I recently started realizing that my system works better when I attend to my emails in the afternoons.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason, I get emails. Like if there's a very, very high priority one, I would get like the notification, I'll attend to it. But all my emails, I'll go to it like in the afternoon. And sometimes I even see that because I manage our event sponsorship at work.
Okay. Yeah.
So I get a lot of like sales speeches from like
For
event
sure, they'll
brands.
just like cloud off your inbox.
And then when I started it, I was always just like, oh, when they send me a message, I'll just be like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll get back to you. Let's set up the meeting. Right now, I'm just like, no, I'm going to take my time.
So you like block out time to like
I
just
block
handle
out
that
time,
later in the day.
yeah, it usually works for me when I do that in the afternoon because I can sort of like lazily do it. So
It's like routine sort of. Yeah.
yes, sort of routine, sort of. So what I do actually, how I start my day is that I look at my tabs. Because I don't close my tabs from the previous day. I just look at my tabs from like one to one and I try to like close them.
Oh, okay.
So I try to like close my tabs, and how I sort of like close it is that I'll just say that, oh, I started this project, I've finished it, and I'll just close it. I'll just put it in the appropriate
Okay,
like
so tab hygiene. Okay.
tab hygiene. So I do my tab hygiene, the first thing, and then the tab hygiene usually helps me to like, oh, okay, this is what you have to do today.
Okay.
This is what you haven't finished from yesterday, and this is what you have to get to. And I just like look through Slack messages to see if there's like any like urgent response. I also try to match that up with my priorities for the week, what my team is expecting for me to be able to deliver first and second, and I try to like match like what my day is going to look like. Before I used to have this like bad structure where I'll just put like 15 things in my to-do list, and then I'll not feel bad at the end of the day when I can't finish it. And then one day I just realistically like looked at it and I was just like, nah,
which human being can actually
which
do
human
this
being can actually
15
finish
things
this
today?
work? It can't work. So I'll just put like maybe 2-3 things, actually finish them. Even like my CEO sort of like manages our team right now, and one of the things he advises us is that you can put like 4 things, like 4 major tasks in your priority this week, but just aim at finishing 2. Or just aim at finishing 1. Like actually finish it.
Like end to end.
End to end. Finish it. Finish your work. Like let's do something that finishes at the end of the week instead of like trying to like munch on 4
Do
different
like
things.
10% here, 30%
30% here, 20% here. Nah.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm also kind of like adopting that as well, where I just put like, okay, even my daily focus is like 2-3 things, or like a bucket of 3 things, like where it's like, okay, reply or have a meeting with the account managers and have a meeting with like the sales reps. So I just put like all my meetings to have together.
Yeah, so it's more
my
like
writings
outcome
together.
based, right?
Outcome
So like
based. So I just put like 1 or 2, 3 things, and then I just like start. There are some days where I mean, this is definitely like painting the perfect day. So so that day I'm definitely super productive, feeling like, oh my goodness, I am living my dreams. I'm living my dreams. I'm having like, but there are some days that doesn't really feel like that, and it comes like more often than normal these days. Just like when you're getting to that media fatigue, where you start to look at the things that you were super enthusiastic about from the start of the year, and just realize that time is going on, and then you start feeling really down. I'm even starting to feel that energy around Twitter, where everybody's now saying that they're getting really like just down.
I don't know whether it's like, is it Q3 or, but I don't know. There's just that thing.
There's just that energy. So what happens with that is that I've started adopting this mentality that my goal is not to actually finish a project. I know that it's weird because I just mentioned that I'm
Like it's
actually
outcome based.
completing
I'm like,
outcome
okay.
no, but my goal is now like to start. And I feel like if I'm able to like start different things, I eventually finish.
It's
So
easier to build momentum
is
once
able
you
to
have.
build
Yeah.
momentum once I start. And I feel like a lot of people say this around like productivity, but when you really think about it, that all you just need to do is just a sentence. But once you put a sentence, it now becomes ridiculous not to continue. And you
Yeah,
just,
like once you have like that thing on paper, it's like you've okay, I'm going back to like science, but like you have overcome like the initial inertia and like it's easier to build momentum from there. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes, inertia. Yes. So it just really, really like just helps you to. So this week, why I said I haven't had like when we're talking before this, I was thinking that this week was a good week. So it wasn't because it was the most productive
Okay.
week that I've
Oh, what
had.
made it good?
It was just because I showed up and worked every day.
Okay.
So wait, to my employers, I work every day. I work every day, please. But there's some days where I'm just like, oh my god, I just feel so draggy, and I just feel like dragged because I'm at home, and I'll just take my bags and go to the workstation because I was just feeling like. But
Okay.
every day this week, I literally start with my laptop and I just be like, okay, the two things I wanted to finish today, I finished them
And we
every
move on to the
single day.
next thing.
It was super boring. It was super dredgy, but I just finished them.
Yeah, I think even like in the boring aspect of things, there's always this saying, I think was Babajide Duroshola that said something
Yeah.
like young people now, we want like the flashiest stuff, like, hey, I want to work on that events campaign. Oh, I want to work on that. But like he said that true mastery comes from like the boring stuff, the routine work, because you become a master at it, like you become exceptional.
Yeah.
And to my next question, you've already partially answered it, right?
Yeah.
Because I think like the productive days, they don't come as much as most people think, right? People will see, you have ticked off everything you have to do this, this guy is productive. But like I think the real key is being able to deliver when you're not feeling your most productive self, right? So you mentioned, going out, to a workspace because like working remotely can get lonely. Like I
Yes.
understand that. Like
Yeah.
sometimes like I'll literally just like be on my and I'll just stand up and like just look around my room like this is how my life would be. It's a bit crazy, right? So like apart from like going out, to like a cafe, to like a workspace and getting actual human interaction or what people say, touch some grass, like what else would you say you do on those days that you're not feeling your most productive self?
Okay, so I think it's a philosophy that I'm just adopting now is like I think you also mentioned it right now is just to stop chasing the excitement. It's not like I want a boring life. I actually want a really, really exciting life.
Yeah.
But I think that for so long I've been wanting to be happy. I'm like every day I have to be happy or every day I have to choose something that makes me really, really happy. But then life throws so much curveballs.
Yeah.
And those curveballs are not bad because they help you with a season, they help you to build muscles.
Yeah.
And those times can get really, really boring. Those times can feel really stagnant. Because I think that okay, I actually don't know. Okay, I was actually talking to somebody who owns like a company. He was telling me that there was a time that I think they were at a place where they didn't have like salaries to pay like their customers like
Oh, okay.
their employees anymore, and I was just like, what?
That's
I don't know.
wild.
It's just like the fact that because the company right now is doing well,
Yeah.
and the fact that you were able to get to a point where you felt like you couldn't pay salaries, and then you not get to a point where
You're doing
like
exceptionally
you're doing
well. Yeah. How
exceptionally well.
did you?
How
Yeah.
did you come out of that? Because me, I will crash and burn.
I'll just
I
we
will
should be
crash.
going home.
Exactly. Everybody go home. I'm packing up. I'm not doing anymore. Please, bye bye. And I feel like can get to that point. But I've seen that those people. And also I was also recently talking to someone who was pretty I think in his 40s, and I was telling him about like something that was really how like it was just really hard for me to just balance like this new level of my life. There was just so much changes, and it was getting to me. And he was saying that you just understand, and that's like life. That's just life.
Yeah.
And it was very, very simple, but you could tell that he had like a deep understanding of like
He
he
has
knew
seen
that he has
things.
seen things. He has seen
Yeah.
things. He knew that like he has like a good life now, but bad things could still happen.
Yeah.
Like death could happen. I mean that is really, really grim and extreme, but like
Yeah, it feels a bit gloomy, but that's like just the reality of stuff.
there's
Life happens.
life happens.
Yeah.
And if life happens, you can't always like go to a point where you're always because in seeking that thrill, in seeking that happiness, you just find out that you will never find it. Like in that process of like you actually find happiness in the doing, in the
Yeah.
process of actually like getting back up again and actually working. Like by the end of
Yeah.
this
Get
week
yourself out of that hole.
and getting yourself out of that hole. Because this week at the end of it, I actually was happy.
Hmm.
Because I had gone through the whole boring process
Yeah. And
of
you were
doing
out
it,
of it.
and I was out of it,
Yeah.
and it just felt like okay. I mean, there's also the other thing like speaking to like getting help and speaking to your friends,
Yeah.
speaking to professionals. Like I always tell my friends, like there's a whole thing with like marketers therapy because we go through a lot in the marketing industry.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I actually see a therapist because I need to like get my hair right. And when I
Unpack.
speak to my therapist, like she helps me to like be able to get back in check. But I think like the thing that really like pushes me like in the long run is just like to stop chasing like the happiness, but to do things that
Can actually get you there.
can actually
So
get
it's
me
less
there.
about like I need to be happy by this. It's more like let me do stuff that will actually get me to that spot.
Yes.
And,
Just
okay.
just do stuff that gets you curious, do stuff that gets you excited, that gets you like excited, but it won't always get you excited because I always tell people that I love my job, but sometimes it can be such a drag. And I'm just sometimes I look at the people in my company like and someone is saying that they've done it. I was like, was this exciting every moment of it? But it clearly wasn't. So just do it. Do it boring.
And keep
Do it
pushing.
exciting.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing.
All right. So we're gonna play a little game of concentration. I'm trying to make it a habit to play this with all my guests. We might do another game for another person so that people will not get too comfortable. I like switching things up. So
Okay.
essentially, I take out a few cards here.
Okay.
Let's actually change this up a bit. So we'd probably do like 1-1. All right.
Okay.
So you have some
Okay.
and I have some. So I bring out one and like I say what's on the card.
Okay.
Then I see like the first word that falls in that category. You're not supposed to look at the cards.
Oh, I'm supposed to look at the
You're
cards.
not supposed to look
Okay. Okay.
because you're already thinking about it. So anyways,
Okay.
I was probably say like
Okay, so the
I'll
one
start.
I pick up is
Yeah.
the one you say.
No, like it's back and forth.
Okay.
But it's just like okay, I'll pick one, we go through it, then it's your turn, that type of vibe. You get
Okay.
okay. So go first.
Okay.
So what's on the card?
Marvel movies.
All movies. Okay, Spider-Man 1,
Captain America.
Spider-Man 2,
Deadpool.
Deadpool 2.
That's not fair.
It is a movie.
Spider-Man 3.
Iron Man 1,
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Iron Man 2,
Wolverine.
Iron Man 3.
Okay, I'm done.
Alright, my turn. Okay, TV shows, Big Bang Theory,
The Good Place.
Ozark.
Friends.
Hey, How I Met Your Mother.
Shit! That was exactly my mind. Because I'm literally just watching it. Legend of the Seeker.
Oh wow. Oh god. I've disgraced my heritage. And I know shows. It's like too many. Oh no, Merlin. I think I took too long.
Yeah, it took too long.
Alright,
Next.
your turn.
Okay. What? Okay, basketball players.
Kobe Bryant.
Shaka O'Neal.
Michael James. There's a James something. There's a James. Michael, James something. Damn, Matthew be disappointed in me.
Michael Jordan.
I'm not. That's not the card for me. Foreign actors and actresses. Okay, Chris Hemsworth,
Lupita Nyong'o.
Liam Hemsworth,
Tracy Ellis Ross.
something Baldwin. I think. This is bad. I'm bad at this. Okay.
Okay. Zodiac signs.
Zodiac.
Zodiac.
Sagittarius. Yes.
Scorpios.
Taurus.
Leos.
Aquarius.
Capricorns.
I'm not finished. I don't have anything. Wow. Okay.
Aries. Cancer.
Okay. I need to get those cards checked. Now luxury designers. Louis Vuitton.
Fendi.
Zara. I think they're not luxury.
Yeah.
I'm not. You can tell I'm a simple guy. I'm. Oh my god.
This is actually my time.
Also, you did something with these cards. You set me up. All right, your turn.
Oh, superheroes.
First, okay. Iron Man.
Captain Marvel.
Wolverine. Yes, he's considered a superhero. Wolverine.
Okay, Deadpool.
Is Deadpool really a superhero?
Isn't it Marvel Jesus?
He's self-acclaimed just okay. Batman.
Superman.
Green Lantern.
Catwoman.
Wow. I want to say Poison Ivy, but she's. Wait, Catwoman's not a hero.
Who?
Catwoman's not a hero.
She's not a hero.
Yeah, she's not a hero.
What makes a hero?
You do
A
good,
superhero.
save people. Yeah.
Oh,
She's not. She's a villain actually.
she's a super villain.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
I can
she's
see
one of
another
the
one. Okay, but it's quite fast. Have I lost?
You have lost. You called the wrong one. No, I'm taking this win. I must have at least one. Alright, let's see. Oh, okay. African stroke black authors, Chimamanda.
Oh my goodness. Actually, I was very because I don't even know how to remember names of authors.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
And I have like a lot of African author books in my room.
I can't remember. Like I was going to say bell hooks, but it's not African.
So I win this one.
You
Nice.
win this.
Nice.
Shit. Oh my
Nice.
goodness.
I
I
don't
am
know if anybody
so
was keeping
sorry
score.
to my
To
amazing
your people.
African authors. I read you a lot, but
I just don't remember
yeah,
your names.
I don't remember
Okay.
names.
All right, that was pretty fun.
Okay.
I think we could wrap up there.
Okay.
Okay, I
That's
think
fun.
this is probably the most challenging one. I was like, oh wow, I lost this one. Like, okay, I mean, I think Nonso set me up with the cards, but we'll have a discussion after. We'll talk about supporting our guests. All right, that's great. So
Yeah.
I wanna dive in a bit to like a typical question I'll ask. I want to talk finances a bit because I think one problem I think we have in marketing, even the creative space, especially like in this like African ecosystem, is that there's not a lot of documentation in terms of like salaries, right? So like a lot of people that are entering like the scene don't even know like what to charge or what to expect, right? Because like I don't think in this ecosystem we have this whole transparent salary thing. I mean, like for most of the jobs I've worked, which are like abroad and stuff, like salaries are very transparent. Like for most of them, like I know what I can expect, like from like the JD even. Like they say, oh hey, this is the range that we're offering based on experience. I'm like, okay, yeah, this rhymes with me, right? So there's that. So like, let's do like an entry level. So okay, so there are two questions. So one is, what's like the first salary you ever earned? You don't have to call the company or anything, just like the figure when you were starting. First ever salary. If I call my own, people will cry for me, but no worries, it's fine. Then from there, the categories of like, okay, people that entry level marketing, what should it like typically like a range is expect to earn, mid level, and like some of like the higher end figures like you've heard from like experience and stuff. So yeah, we can start with the first one. What's the first salary you ever earned?
50K.
50K. Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
I mean, not great, but like I mean great. Like I'm not the worst, so I'm like okay, fair.
I was actually telling someone yesterday that my first salary was 50K, and it was all like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good." But I was then I'm breaking it because even though those times like things were a little bit cheaper, I used to go to work every single day.
That's transport. Yeah.
So that's 20K out for transport because my transport every day was like 1K back and forth. So that's 20K out, and then I had to eat every day.
Of course.
That's like 20K out again.
So like what's left?
What's left? It was literally, but it was good.
Okay. So entry level, what do you think marketers in terms of ranges can expect to earn? I think we can use like naira figures. So like yeah.
So I think this is pretty dicey. Because I work in tech. Because I work in tech, so and also tech companies are different because they're all in like different like categories or like stages. But I would
startup, there's established companies, they are giants, that type of thing.
Yes, but I would say like for an entry level role, if you're looking for like a tech company, if you're looking from a 250 to a 400 for your salary, it's a good place to actually start.
Okay.
Earning and
to clarify, this is an internship. This is like entry level. Like you're starting out, maybe. Yeah, just starting out. Let's say.
Just starting out, because the thing is that I don't even think people hire people that are just like they don't know anything.
Yeah.
Right, like it's entry level, but.
Yeah, especially to have like 1 to 2 years of like doing experience.
Of doing something.
So people are now wondering, where is now the job that I'll get that experience from?
Exactly. So these days, people in school, they're trying to like ramp up like their work experience with like
volunteer
stuff, and so it's like you're not even going to hire the freshly baked out of graduate person. Let's be very honest. So if you're going to hire somebody that's good for a good fit, I think a 250 to 400 to start is a good place.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
okay.
yeah.
what does mid-level look like? So I'll use like figures in terms of like experience. So someone that's like mid-level in their career, probably like 5, 6 years experience in like marketing, and maybe it's going for, maybe a lead of like a team type of approach here. What would you say? Not a C-level executive, right? But like a bit below that, but established like 5 years. What would you say?
Okay. So like for like a Nigerian
Yeah, of
company.
a Nigerian company.
Huh. Okay, so I would say starting from like a 700 to a 1.5.
Okay.
Um, and because for marketing, right, a lot of people don't really understand. A lot of people don't really understand, like, the work that goes into it. It's that type of job where when you get into the actual role, what they told you in the JD is just like a tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So might as well charge something like, first of all, I think like a general rule for like, getting to like a role is like if it's a salary that you're comfortable with,
Yeah.
so you always have that figure in your mind. Make sure that you haven't working with like roles that are starting with that figure or even more, or even like
Yeah.
double of
But
that.
that's if the company is even being transparent in the first place.
Exactly. So, and I think that a lot of like, especially with the way Nigeria is, I know a lot of people are still paying like mid-level people like around like a 500 and 600, and a conversation about that still needs to be had, and people just be like, how much am I making in my company? But the thing is that the economic times are like, getting harder. If you want somebody to be comfortable working in your company and
You
they're not
have to offer
struggling,
more.
you have to be able to offer
Yeah,
more.
but these economic realities hit the companies too. So it's like a double pronged thing where it's like the company is saying shaggy, but I say that me, I have to eat too. So like wow, you have to find some sort
Exactly.
of middle ground.
Exactly. So, but I think I'm talking about like, the salary that I will collect,
Mm.
right? But if it's a little bit like, slightly lower than that, it is fair.
But there has to be something that like sort of compensates for it. Like
Exactly.
some people say, oh, okay, you can work like fully remote, and some people like are fine with that. Okay, I can cut cost on this, like okay, or maybe hybrid, come to the office once or twice a week, that type of thing. So there have to be concessions that make
Exactly.
that package as a
Exactly.
whole more appealing.
Exactly. And just make sure that if it's like a 600 in net,
Yeah, very important. Know your terms. Yeah.
know your times the net salary, so they are still helping you with your health insurance and stuff. But like,
Mm.
yeah, that this is what is your take home. So if that can also be negotiated, so I'll say that's how much I would advise somebody to actually like push for a role.
Yeah.
Because also, so I know that this is a weird generalization. It might not always be true, but
Yeah.
companies who pay well are the best companies to work at. Not even in the same sense of like, oh, this company is profitable,
Mhm.
but just like people who have the sense of like paying people their worth. They're able to like attract like
Great
good.
talent.
They're able to attract great talent that is able to help the company to be
Yeah.
able to. So they understand like the value of a talent and how to like
I mean, if they
really.
are paying a certain amount, like honestly, that I think that applies. Like even like in the freelance space, because like there's a time like I used to like freelance full time,
Yeah.
and even though I still like do a bit of consultation and stuff on the side, right? But like I have like an actual like full time. But like even that time, the clients are like, or the people that paid me the most are like offered like, or didn't even negotiate at all. I don't. I almost always had like the best experience with them. Like they stressed me out the least. But like people that like you had like 2 weeks of back and forth negotiations with that. Oh my god. They were actually like 101 revisions. Oh, can we make it more? Can we make it more
More.
like? But like, come. What does this even mean, right? Those type of things.
Exactly. I mean, it's definitely there's also a red flag with paying more, like with companies like Mara, who I heard was charging, was going to pick people from Apple and charge them ridiculous price, or they didn't have like even product market fit, or they didn't have like an MVP. I mean, that's like a wild use case. But like
Yeah.
if it's in like industry like
Yeah.
standard, and you see that they actually value you like
As a
with
talent, yeah.
exactly with your foreign counterparts. Those companies always have like better like outcomes. So just
Yeah.
just
I think
just
especially like even like with the foreign thing, because like there are a lot of companies that like even how like they that, like adjust for like salaries is that people always find it a bit weird because like it could be like, oh, I'm a content lead, or like I'm a content marketer here and my colleague that's also a content marketer, like, same role, same company. Our realities are very, very different. And people are like if we're doing the same work and bringing the same value to the company, like why is like it different? Then companies say things like, oh, location, living expenses and all, but people always overshadow like from the employee perspective, it's more like if I'm delivering the same value, then we should be getting the same ban,
Same.
yeah, that
Yeah.
type of thing. So I
Yeah.
think, but there's a bit of like a reform now, with a lot of companies actually like shifting from the typical to more like, oh, okay, let's have like a standardized skinny that at least you can cut across everybody and everybody
Yeah.
is actually fine with it if they
Yeah.
can bring the same value, right? That type of thing. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's very dicey for like companies that are operating in Africa with, especially companies that are operating in Nigeria
mhm.
with like the whole like exchange
Wait,
rates
yeah, because like
and
people are converting like, no.
exactly like
Yeah,
how much are you even making from like your Nigerian business, and
yeah.
then you're not trying to like still keep like your Nigerian talents, but there has to be like a balance with like still
Balance, yeah.
keeping them, paying them like industry standard, but maybe like even it's slightly above, maybe not as much as like their UK counterpart, but just enough to like make them like happy, and then also there's also
Yeah.
open to
And I
like
also think
negotiation.
about like having like open conversations is like another thing because like I find like a lot of companies are like siloed in terms of information. Only people have like access to certain things, and like if the person at the bottom that's actually executing, the person on the ground doesn't know this thing, they it builds up resentment, and that's why you hear people just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow." Ah, so now when did that one start? Like, what's happening now? That type of vibe. But
Exactly, and just what you said about like just being open with this. I think that I think we should develop a system where we're not talking about our salaries, but we're telling our friends and people that we care about like how much we earn. And I know that people have like, oh, I don't want people to be billing me,
yeah,
but
that
yeah, so
is
that's
that.
there's
Yeah.
that. And sometimes I feel like this is an unfair advice because it depends on the kinds of friends you have. But
Mm-hmm.
if you see that there's a person who would benefit from like knowing what like their value is, and it's to be able to help them to like just tune their mentality that they could actually be earning this in this like level, and just know that, oh, I'm earning this, you can also earn it as well. You have like
Like
the same,
is a
is a
possibility.
possibility for
Yeah.
you. It helps them to also grind better. And because I feel like in like you said in the US, like because these things are so transparent, people know that, oh, if I have like
Yes,
if I'm
so people even plan like strategically, like, oh, hey, okay, I will leave from here, I'll go here because I know that this and this and this.
this and this and this and
Yeah,
how much I'm earning. But yeah, the whole thing is like, I remember there was even like a thread recently was like, oh, if you earn over like 1 million, talk about like what you do. And uh,
yeah. It was what's her name?
um
The founder
Tosin,
of
yeah,
Ladder.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. She was talking about that, and I was just like, I feel like Nigerians are weird with like salary payments.
Yeah.
Like they're even weird with like when you even post content, and then you just have like a little bit of like enjoyment, and you're flexing in your picture. When I started that,
Yeah.
I was getting some weird billings from strange people.
Shit from strange people.
Strange people that I don't even know, like someone that maybe has done my hair once. They're telling me that, auntie sister, please help me with like something just because like you interacted with one of my Instagram content and it looks like I was enjoying. So it's just pretty weird. And I'm just imagining if that person knows like how much I'm earning, because you don't know what I'm trying to do with my money. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's that
so
like
yeah,
entitlement vibe to that, rubs me off the wrong way. So that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Okay. So in terms of like advice for like people that are coming in, I'd like to phrase it this way. So if you're in charge, we say, fingers crossed for that promotion, right? So let's say, okay, hey, you have that and you move up, and it's like they want to hire for like your existing role, right? And they say, oh, hey, Gift, come and be on like the hiring team for this, right? What would you look out for, and what do you think would help people sort of stand out to position better for these types of roles?
As a general thing, I like working with people who show enthusiasm
Yeah.
towards like So I've been hired before because I was enthusiastic. I feel like if you're enthusiastic about like marketing, you can be able to do anything, right? You can be able to get your hands dirty, because sometimes your JD will be able to say a bunch of things, but something else. I'm not going to definitely abuse the fact that, oh, you came to become like a marketing associate and then you're doing video work. It's still going to be inside like what your JD requires, just like trying to stretch you,
Yeah, a
trying
bit.
to stretch you a bit. And then it's also like really enthusiastic people who are very optimistic, and you can be able to tell when you're interviewing these people. So I would say like that's how to. I don't know if this gives like a good view as to like getting into my role, but that's the kind of person that I'll be able to like hire, and I feel like okay, will be a great fit for the
Okay,
company. Yeah.
I think that's calm. So like if you were to do it again, all over again, like from scratch, right? Fresh out of uni, what would you do to like land your first role and like enter the marketing space properly?
Okay, so I think that I know you said fresh out of uni,
Yeah.
but I think something that I should have done before I left uni
Okay.
was starting to like build momentum, or starting to build like my experience
While in school.
whilst I was in school. So I know, so this is not to put pressure to anybody who has just finished school and feeling like, oh, you needed to have started like, way earlier.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if you have the opportunity in school right now, it's good to start. You don't really have to like, there's no pressure to like deliver any salaries, but if you can start like, just building like, your credibility, starting to stock up like your CV.
You're speaking to
Please.
like, volunteer stuff as well.
So volunteer stuff like, internship opportunities, virtual assistant opportunities, even social media marketing. And I know there's a whole lot of arguments around like, social media marketing
Yeah.
not being like, a entry level role, and that is really true. Like, you can get like very, very deep levels, you can get like very, very strategic, and you're managing like, a very, very large account, and you have to do like a big social media campaign, guerrilla
Yeah.
marketing, all of those things, and that's very valid. But the social media marketing I'm talking about is just like, managing like, a small account,
Yeah. It's
small
like a lower
accounts, and
barrier
just
to entry.
lower barrier to entry. So managing a small account, and even sometimes like doing like, content creation. I remember like during my social media management days, so like doing content creation, working with MailChimp to like send out like email
Emails.
blast to like, customers. Those things help to build like, just some skills that can help you, because for example, you can just be managing a social media page, you run some ads, you're able to like, boost some well performing posts, and then you do that, and then the customer makes like, 10 million naira in sales. That's something that is like an actual valuable number that you can put in your
Put it in your
resume
CV. Put
for
it
your
there.
next role, because you don't have to be stuck in that like small key account. Just do those things whilst you're in school. You can be like a virtual assistant role, and or just something really small. So one of the questions that I always get asked from people is that, what do I know what to pick? What do I know that, oh, this is the right area for me, and how do I pick that? And I have like a small theory around it. I feel like what you're meant to do comes around you, and either comes around you, or it forms part of your curiosity, or it forms part of like something that you're just slightly envious of.
Yeah, like, oh, I wish I could do that. Yeah.
I wish I could do that. And if you see anything, like, just assess yourself. If you're able to like have one question around like, any of these three categories, just try to like enter into it and then see what's going to. I remember like before school, like before like my first official job, I was following people who were like, social media content creators.
Yeah.
And that's when I was just like, oh, this is pretty fun. And I remember that was my boyfriend at the time had like this social media page, and I was just like, oh, let me manage it. And the opportunity just came just like super randomly. And that was even constructed to like, even what I put on my CV that got me like my first role. And I started saying that my mind just kept seeing like a lot of like, social media roles. And when I saw creators like, and especially also marketing as well, when I saw that people were having like, global talent visas, and then able to like do global marketing work, it wasn't something I was envious like for, but I was just like, I really want this life, this really makes sense. And sometimes it can just be like your curiosity. Like for example, when I got into how I'm getting into like product marketing is, I had an interview with somebody. He talks about like, some numbers, like, the scientific part about it, and then
You're curious about like,
I was
yeah,
just
this sounds
curious.
nice.
This
Yeah.
sounds nice, and immediately I started like, having like my research about it, and then things just started falling in line. So the thing that you're meant to do is like right in front of you. Just like really assess that. Coming out of school, I would say, and I think I've said this before, is I wouldn't stay at bad jobs for too long anymore. I think there were points where I realized that some jobs were not helping me to grow. I didn't know, like, I didn't have like a full scope of like how I was going to grow to like my next stage, but I just knew that the way the company was thinking, it wasn't helping me to be more curious. It wasn't helping me to
Grow.
it wasn't helping me, it wasn't stretching me in any way. I just felt like I said, I was like, the best salesperson like 2 months in a row. And I wasn't trying to like, shit on like my employees or my colleagues in that. But I just felt like I was, how old was I? Why am I getting like, the second best? Like, why am I getting this? Like, I want people in my
Yeah,
team
like,
who is doing better sales than me, so I
you
can
can
learn
learn,
from
yeah, and
them.
grow.
also like life is also very, very contradicting. Apply wisdom to these things. I'm not saying that just jump away from your job, because sometimes
I don't tell you
toxic.
to resign. No.
Don't resign, or I won't give you any of my money. But like, basically, if there's a job and you just feel like it's, so there were some jobs that I stayed even though they were toxic and even though like they were unhealthy. But I the reason why I stayed was because I still saw like the value that I was getting in the role that was important for me. It is you. Like, if you see that you're the person that is, you're the one who is like, trying to build your career, trying to build your skills, and if you feel like that role is helping you. So if you have a role that is making you do content creation, is making you do newsletters, is making you do, and they're still paying you shit, yes, plan your exit mode. But that job is teaching you something that's going to lead to like your managerial position, helping you to be like, a better manager, helping you with like better structure. It just teaches you so much. So I would say living like, bad jobs early. What else is a lesson that I believe that I would, okay, I think that yeah, just the final thing is that I think that I wish, like in points in my career, I was a lot more confident in my ability to be able to do certain things. I think that sometimes I'm the person who just needs like, oh, go girl, you can be able to do it. And I mean, I could do them, but I just felt like some things were just like bigger for me. And something that I try to like train my sisters on is that there's no role that is too big for you. You can do the job. You can learn anything. If it's interesting to you, you can learn it and you can get better at it, like point blank period. So just try not to like, make myself small in certain situations, not feeling like I do not deserve to be in certain rooms. Because if your mind sort of like believes that you don't believe in certain rooms, like your reality just sort of like course correct, and then you don't
You
enter
don't
the
even
certain
think you
rooms.
are able to.
Exactly. So you now see people who are just in marketing for like 3 years and yet they're doing amazing things. They've been able to like build their own confidence, and then you are, I mean, I really respect my own journey. I feel like it has been able to train me with my character, with my energy. But I just feel like, I was just like more and more vigilant and confident with what I could do because I can do them. I recently did a project at work, and it was just when the project came to me, I was just like, God damn it, this is a lot of work. But then I just started deconstructing, like I know what to do. It's a lot of work, but I can actually know what to do.
Yeah.
And when I completed the project, I was just like,
I did
girl.
it. Yeah.
So those are the three things I would say that I would do differently if I was starting my career again.
Okay. I'm curious to know, how has AI, automation, all of the fear mongering, how has it affected your industry? With being more of like a generalist, product, account based marketing. How has it affected that industry and that space? Has it disrupted the space, so to speak?
So I think that this whole like GPT frenzy, I think that content marketers definitely have a lot more interface with it, just because of like, the nature of like, you guys are actually producing content. GPT is content. And even though like, some of the work with like, product marketing is also like, content as well. It's more like, it's product marketing is very, very strategy focused. So because of that, it's like you still need to have like your mastery like on
an expert in the loop.
You need to be like you need to, like, I wouldn't even call myself like a product marketing manager. I just like, I'm a person in product marketing right now. Just because I don't even care for titles. I just care to like, I'm still getting to the point of like, mastery. And I think that's still going to take like years. But so I wouldn't say that it affected the industry as a whole, but I would say like, for like my company, for example, we started to like, because I think that the world of work is like changing with like automations.
Busy work.
Busy work. My CEO says this thing like, AI that shit. That's AI it, because like so many things like that you needed to. So one of the things that we do is like we sort of like build our ICPs from scratch. So as I told you,
the entire flow.
You need to build the entire flow. Like what are the actual accounts in those specific companies? First of all, you're listing out the companies and you're listing out the accounts. Before, you needed to do like research with, but now you don't. There are tools that we've used. There's software that we've paid for, software like Clay, like Apollo.
Just pretty much scrape and give you like the data that you need.
Scrape and give
you can like analyze it even with like GPT and like, categorize it into what are the highest XYZ. And it's so fast.
It's so fast. So right now there's I would say the way that it's affected is that there's like a higher demand for like, excellent work, and
Yeah.
excellent work very, very fast.
Since these things make average work easier to do.
Since it makes average work like easier to do. So right now, obviously, like when somebody is like looking at like my writing, it's not looking at the person not looking at typos, because typos is like, if you're making typos now, it's
At this stage,
ridiculous,
like,
right?
yeah.
So to put it in a simplistic form, like people will now be looking at like the structure, the flow,
The
like how
messaging,
you the
yeah.
messaging. Do you understand our ICP deeply? Do you understand our product deeply? Do you understand like our value proposition? Because now you have the time to be able to do it. I think that right now it seems like there's like a dearth of like entry level roles,
Yeah.
and I feel like it is true, but I think that it is easy to move to a place where you're just above entry level. It might not be
Yeah.
like middle level, because I think that some things it just needs years to be able to progress to
Yeah.
a certain
You need
stage.
those hours.
Yes, you need those hours. Yeah, I like the way you say that. You need those hours. But there's a way you can definitely go ahead, like an entry level place, just because you have so much more. But I don't think that people know that they have so much, because sometimes like I'm working with like my assistants, and I know that they're still like in their entry level stage, and then they just ask me some questions. I was like, have you asked ChatGPT? Because this is a very, very ChatGPT question,
That question.
and it can definitely help you to give you like a whole lot more data. I mean, to be able to like build the prompts that you need to give you like
I
the
think people don't even know that like you can like even ask like GPT like, how can I prompt you to give me this?
Yes.
Like people don't know you can do that. Like, hey,
Yes.
how far, like I want to ask you to do this thing, but like I don't know how to ask you to do it. And to literally like, oh, okay, hey, here's what you need to do. Give like an actual template. Then you can now modify. And like, yeah.
Exactly. So people don't even know that I can actually do those things. People don't know that, oh, if I want to apply for a role, I should look at a JD. Then of course, if you're applying for a role, that means you have some skills that sort of like match it. So you have like your current CV, and then you have like the JD. You just upload both of them. You just be like, can you adjust my CV slightly
like
to be able to match what is?
Yeah. Then obviously give it guardrails like, oh, okay, don't fabricate experience, don't fabricate exercise, and you like read through it as well.
Read through it as well. So you're not lying. It just helps you to be able to
like position,
do the wording.
and even put like some keywords based off of your own experiences, right?
Yeah.
And I've done that in the past, and like I'm like, oh wow, like I never even thought about like this thing I did in this way, but this is actually this type of marketing, and I can actually use it in this way. So
exactly. And sometimes you just be like, oh, I have this particular project, I'm not really sure where to start. Can you just help me like scour the internet and just see like give me some ideas of like
brainstorming.
Like,
it's fantastic for brainstorming, right? I mean, even if like most of the ideas it will give you will be bad, at least you know what bad ideas look like.
You know what bad ideas look
and I think that's the first stage in getting a good idea.
Yes.
It's like, nah, this is not great. But like as you have thought, this is not good, you should already be thinking, okay, what should look good? Like what does this not have?
Yeah, exactly. And I think the last thing I'll just say is that right now, try to also like you source out for like authentic like content that is like, for example, for like writing. So right now, some people are looking for like strategy, but also people are looking for people who are good writers.
You need perspectives.
You need perspective.
Strong voices as well.
So develop that. You have the time right now to develop it, and there are resources and tools that you can use. Like I remember one of my colleagues was we're trying to read a book during like our retreat, and you just put like the Adobe just to give me like a summary of the book. That's really, really lazy, but it's also it gave me some perspective, and I felt like, oh yeah, definitely you still read the book, but he wanted something really quick.
Fast, like, okay, where is this piece of information?
What can I really gain for it for like my level of experience, and what are some of the key things I can pick from this? You pick that, but also just keep sharpening your mind, right? I think there was a study on Twitter that everybody was talking about, that people are realizing that people who just rely heavily on ChatGPT, their brains are not like being as engaged as people who try to like write the stories. So if you're about to write something, sometimes just challenge yourself in
think
like
first.
Think first.
I think it's even how people use it, because some people might just go like, I want to write an article, and like just say, hey, write my article on. But nah, like there's a time like I wanted to write something that was like 1,000 words.
Yeah.
Right. My prompt was more than 1,000 words, which is weird.
Yeah,
but my prompt was longer than the project I wanted to do. Like I literally went through like phases like, oh hey, I want to talk about this in like this sentence. Like I also want to now transition to my experience when I did this and this and this. And like I just went on and on and on. And I think it really helps you structure your thinking. I think in a more structured manner now, because of I see like using AI tools as even like delegation. Like if I wanted to delegate this to like a virtual assistant or something, how will I explain it to them that they can do it? And like I think that has helped me make better prompts. All right, great. What is like one thing you say you've done recently to improve like the quality of your life? It could be like a tiny thing even.
So these days, no matter how I feel, I just like wake up and I make sure that I dress up every single day.
Oh, so that
Yeah.
really like gives you like
Yes.
that vibe. Like let's get
Yes.
to it.
Let's get to it.
Okay, the
Yeah, and
confident
sometimes,
boost.
sometimes like I can just maybe do, like I can just be like show up for myself like maybe 4 or 5 hours, not as like a full day.
Okay.
But then it gets me to a place where I'm not, because if I allow myself sort of like dredge, I can get to a point where I'm like bed rotting and I'm like doom scrolling. I used to tell a friend that when I get leaves for the first 2 days, I'm like a dead person. I'm just like not standing off my bed. It's the most unhealthy shit ever. So, but these days I think I'm building a system where every day
You're up and active.
I'm up and active.
Love it, love it. What would you say is let's say a hill that you're willing to die on?
I trust people who can dress well. Like I trust people. Like if I see somebody who dresses well, I trust them instantly.
Oh, that's very interesting.
I don't know. There's just something about it. Like if I see
Good are
somebody that,
kept
yeah, just like you can just tell that they just put like effort, like they've
effort,
thought
well
about
put
like what
together.
I just trust them instantly. It's not always because I've recently been reading about how like charming people can be very, very like evil. So it's not like a foolproof plan, but
Evil is
honestly,
a
yeah.
I get
But to be
the
honest, I'll trust them instantly.
vibe.
Like you don't even have to be like the most handsome, the most beautiful, but if you're able to dress nicely, I'll just think you're the most. I just need to listen to you.
Oh, okay. So I guess you probably end up as like one of those like African parents that are like dress the way you want to be addressed.
Very.
I think I've pretty much like come like to the end. Like I had like a way in my head like this was supposed to go. It never goes the way it is in my head because like human beings are like so unique, and I've
Yeah.
really like enjoyed this conversation. I've learned a lot, right,
Yeah.
about even like your industry, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But like just one thing we always like to do. I don't know if we keep on doing it, right? But Nonso tells me we have to keep doing it, so I'll do it. It's pretty much where you look into this camera and answer the question of why do you create? So it's more like why do you wake up every morning? Why do you do the things you do? In 1 minute or less. Why do you create? Yeah.
Okay, so why do I create? I feel like creating is living, right? So every day you show up for the world, you are creating something. It doesn't always have to be like, painting. It doesn't always have to be like, a piece of like, poetry. But like, the art of living is actually the art of just like, observing and also like, using the observation to be able to create something for your world. Like it's creating is doing. So I create because like it's a form of like me just like expressing how I'm living like my life and how I'm interpreting life. For most of us, like we're going to die, and then like in a few decades we're not going to be like remembered anymore. But something that always like stays is like your art. Somebody randomly one time in like a different world is going to see like a piece of writing that you do, or a piece of like campaign that you run. Highly likely unlikely campaign, but like maybe like a source of like what's even brought about something, and your your name is going to like come, and that was like just like your small little contribution. And I just feel like every day that I get to like leave, I am creating. And yeah, that's why I create, because if you don't create, you die. If you don't leave, you die. So yeah, that's my answer.
All right, love it. And just to wrap up, I'd just like to, for people at home, like how can they reach you? We'll probably will put like banners of like your stuff, but people would like to know like where can they reach you? Is it Instagram? Is it Twitter? Is it LinkedIn? Like how can they reach you? And are they free to reach you? Will you air our people in essence? Yes.
No, I would not air anybody. You can reach me on my Instagram, on my Twitter, on my LinkedIn. I'm available in all those places. Well, actually, Twitter, I think my Twitter DMs are closed.
So LinkedIn and Instagram are fine.
Yeah, so LinkedIn and Instagram are fine. So you can DM me, I will reply. So reach out to me for just to chat about stuff, about marketing, about like trying to like break into a place. I'm currently helping somebody who, she's like a content creator, wants to get into like content marketing. I've helped someone get into like a sales role. I'm not saying that I'm an HR person, but I just feel like
the DMs are already coming.
I just feel like we should all like carry each other along.
Okay.
There's so many. The sky is big for each and every one of us, and we all have like a space for it. So just come, and then the little knowledge I have, I'll be able to help. On my end, I'm trying to build like systems and processes so I can be able to help like larger people. So
Okay.
help me.
another thing, like tradition type thing that we have here is that we like to spoil our guests. I'm not talking about water. That one is, not my spoil our guests. So we actually have something for you, right? It's filled with ideas. Like you guys, you understand. Anyways,
Oh my
it's for you, and
goodness.
just like to say
Oh.
thank you for being here. Thank you for accepting our invitation and to have some really cool, if we say so ourselves, cool Content Connect merch that you can rock proudly. So,
Oh, this is so. Can I open it?
you're free. I think you're the first person that's actually opening it. I think everybody else was like, yeah, I'm too cool for that. I'll check it later. Yeah, so like we have like a really different
Oh my
things.
goodness! Thank you so much, Content Connect. This is so cute.
I didn't even know if you were like a cat person, but like, yeah, no, I'm definitely giving like a cat person. I don't know.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I love merch. I don't know. I just have so many.
Yeah.
I don't have so many, but like it's always just so nice to have it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have some like cute stickers there for you. And well, since you're a marketer, definitely you have a notepad as well.
I put stickers like on my laptop. I'm not just one of those cool people who just like, oh, I want my laptop empty now.
I am actually one of those cool people. I hate stickers on my laptop. That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
thank you,
pretty much
team.
it.
Love it.
If you want, you can come on our show too. So yeah. This was a really wonderful time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for vibing with us. Thank you for the comments that you're about to drop that this episode was wonderful. Thank you for that in advance. Please subscribe. As I drop in that comment, subscribe, like the video, share it to somebody. It helps us out a lot. The more you engage, the more people see it and the more people can get value from these conversations. As always, we will see you in the next one. Peace.